Hello, and welcome to my hardcore craft. Before we get into it, I'm just going to move some things around so you can look at what my wallpaper is today. Wonder Woman punching out Orange Man. No, this is not my political opinion. This just happens to be what was randomly selected for me today out of the, 4,000 ultra-wide high-definition wallpapers that I downloaded one day because I have a 4K ultra-wide monitor and I didn't want to bother looking through a whole bunch of wallpapers to choose which one is appropriate for me. I wanted a bunch, and so I downloaded a giant pack off of Reddit or Imager. I'm not sure. The point is, I didn't choose them, they just show up, and here we go into world number 3. I've been playing Minecraft for many, many years, across many different devices. I think I've purchased the game about 10 times. Why so many times? It's a great question. It all has to do with the edition, the device, and the user. There was myself, and there was a girlfriend, and there's a nephew, and there's Bedrock versus Java. Of course, my first version was on the Xbox 360, and then needed to get a copy for the Xbox One. Of course, my girlfriend at the time needed an edition for her 360, so as you can see, it's not too complicated why it all adds up over time. Well, throughout all this time, I've been playing the different versions. I have had many long-term and short-term worlds, shared worlds and solo worlds, realms, and beyond. And of course, my favorite is always returning to hardcore single-player Java. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and I'm not saying that Java is the best edition. It just happens to be one with the features that I like the most, such as when I'm opening my menu, I can press one of the numbers to automatically move things around from my hotbar to my inventory. And that's a minor convenience, but it's a big ease of access, functionality. It's a good perk. And there are many others. But I'm not here today to talk about perks, or to talk about hardcore Minecraft for that instance. More, I'm here to talk a little bit about my fitness journey so far. Yeah, it's been interesting. So, I've been a couch potato my whole life. Well, what do you expect out of the Nerd Pope King, right? I have been a giant nerd. Like, giant in the sense that I am 6'4", so I'm a tall person. Nerd in that, yes, I am a nerd. I collect figurines. I watch sci-fi and fantasy. I play video games. I have a lot of collectibles. Where did the Pope and the King come from? Well, that has to do with my wide array of knowledge. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that when we get to it, because today we're talking about the fitness journey. So, professional couch potato and overnighter. I get off my overnight work and I transition to a daytime schedule. I try and get together with friends. But, when you're an adult, managing friendships is a lot more difficult than when we were younger, and everybody's got their own stuff going on. Well, I created a group chat with a few of the guys, and we have conversation, but it's lame. A lot of people just not participating. It's mostly just me and Antoine going back and forth, with a few people chiming in here and there. Well, Antoine, you rock, man. What can I say? You're probably the best friend I've had in my 30s. Yeah, that's mathematically correct. Okay. Well, one of our other friends has been doing jujitsu, and he was inspired by another friend. Both their names start with a J, so that's not going to help us figure this one out. So, doesn't matter. One of the J's is talking about some move he made on one of the other J's. No, that's not accurate. One of the J's was talking about some move he made that had to do with a grip and a flip. I don't know. And the other one says something about how you should go to the gym with me. We should lift some stuff and get swole. And so I chime in saying like, hey, that sounds pretty good to me. I'm just going to need a few things, such as the time space where we're going to meet. Most people would say the when and the where, the time and the place, but being a big nerd, right? Space, time, and time, space are intrinsically linked together. So if you're going to know one, you need to know the other. Otherwise, you're not going to find what you're looking for, right? I mean, that has to do with the trips around the sun and how the sun is hurtling through space, and where the planet is now is not where the planet was 5 days ago, and 10 years ago it was in a different time space. And so if you're an extra dimensional being who happens to live in, say, the 4th or 5th densities, then if you're looking for me here now, you need to know the exact time space. All right, so that's just the nerd in me coming out. So anyway, I tell this guy, if I'll go to the gym with you, I just need to know the time space, and I need instruction on how to properly use everything, and I need constructive feedback. Do you think you can handle this? And he said, yeah, we'll meet on Monday. So I go pick him up on Monday. He shows me around the gym. We go back on the Wednesday. We go back on the Friday. We go back on the Sunday. And then we're tuckered out because we did a little too hard of a lift session. And he says he's going to postpone for a day or two. And I say, yeah, that's fair, because my calves barely even want to move right now. Well, a couple of days later, I say, okay, I'm ready to go. You want to go? No answer. I drive to his place. I wait. Nothing. I try the door. Nothing. No, then I get a message. He's not available. Oh, okay, great. Well, I guess I'll leave now, and I'll just go to the gym, do my own thing. A few days later, again, I go to his place at the scheduled time space, and messaging him, no response. The door, no response. Send the message like, buddy, if I don't hear from you, I'm just gonna leave without you. And then I get a response to leave without him. So I go. A few days later, I'm back at his place at the agreed upon time space. And again, no sign of him. And again, no answer on the phone. No answer at the door. I take off. I go to the gym. Well, I get a message back from him later that day or the next day saying that he lost his wallet, and his access card to the gym is in his wallet, so gonna have to postpone. So I just go without him. But I offer to help him find his wallet, right? I ask around at the gym, nobody's found a wallet. I check my car twice, no wallet to be found. I offer to give him a lift to places he might have lost his wallet, and he declined. All right. Well, a couple of days later, he finds his wallet, right? And he couldn't find his card. Well, apparently it wasn't in his wallet like he thought. Well, same story. A couple of days later, he finds his card. He's ready to go. Like, great, let's do this. But he was busy with some work thing. Okay, no problem. I'll just go to the gym myself. Later, I go at the scheduled time space to pick him up again. And no response. So I go away. Oh, it turns out he fell asleep on the couch watching a movie with his friend. Okay, sure. So I go to the same time space a couple of days later, go to the gym with him, only he's not answering, and so I go without him again. Well, around this time, a couple of our friends, we were planning a meal together. We had this thing, we called it the Quest for the Best, where one of us would get an idea of some place that might be the best place in town to find blah. Like, once it was Thai food, so we went to what might be the best Thai restaurant in town. And we all enjoyed it, and we all critiqued, and we all had a good time. Same with the seafood quest for the best. Oh, those crab legs were deliciously salty. I want to go back to there. But, hey, that's aside from the story. Story is, I'm supposed to pick up this friend. The friend that hasn't been going to the gym with me since week number 1. Well, I let him know the day before that you're going to have to tell me when you're ready to get picked up, because lately it's kind of seemed like you've been really flaky, and I just don't want to put up with that. And he's like, yeah, fair, that makes sense. Well, it's not that I've been flaky, but I see where you're coming from, and blah, blah, blah. So the day comes, and I don't hear from him. It starts to get time for us to leave town. I don't hear from him. I put in the group chat, I'm about to leave town. Is there anyone I'm picking up? And he says, I'm anyone. So then in private chat, I ask, okay, does that mean you're ready to get picked up? No response. Dude, if you don't tell me you're ready to get picked up, I'm not picking you up. No response. Copy, paste the message from yesterday that he agreed to. I post in all caps, you need to tell me or I'm not picking you up. And then he says, don't pick me up. And then he leaves the group chat. And then he blocks me. Weird. So here I am, just trying to be a good friend and a brother, trying to be supportive, and I set my boundary, right? I think it was all pretty fair. And he flakes. Well, no big deal. I enjoyed the dinner with friends. And so this journey that my friend was supposed to be taking me on through the gym ended up lasting 1 week. As I'm recording this, I'm on week 11. So I've kept going back to the gym on my own to continue this fitness journey I'm on. And really, if you're not willing to go by yourself to deal with something, then you're not really ready to deal with something, right? And that's what I figure went on with this guy, Jay. He wanted to do a thing, but he wasn't ready to do a thing. He went with me, but he wasn't actually ready, so he couldn't keep doing it. He's going through his own stuff, major anxiety, and he's not addressing. But that's not what this story's about. The story's about going to the gym. Now, a lot of nerds who might listen to this might think like, oh, I don't want to exercise. Exercise sucks. It feels bad. Yes, it does. But it also feels good. And the gym can be a very intimidating place. I know that. Especially when you go in, you see all these people of various fitness levels, all of whom seem to know what they're doing. And you, just standing there as a noob, having no idea what's going on. Choose your gym very carefully. Look around, see what's on the walls. Are there signs that say be nice or no judgment, or reminding you that everyone is on a different part of their fitness journey? Are there signs reminding you to put away your weights, to clean up after yourself, to wipe down the station when you're done using it, or before you start using it? These are all signs of a healthy gym environment. And, being a social person, which I'm not, and being an attractive person, which, I mean, look at the beard, right? It draws attention. What can I say? There was a fella on my second or third week who he was doing stretches, and I was wiping down a cardio machine, and I just let him know, like, I'm still new here. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. So later on, I'm moving some heavy things, and he comes up and says, so I remember you told me that you're still new here, and I thought I'd give you some tips. And he says a lot of things, but what mostly stuck out was going too fast, all right? So there are signs over here that say 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down. But when I was growing up, and this guy's like in his late 50s, mid 60s, I don't know, it doesn't matter, right? The point is, he's been lifting for over 20 years, and he says, in my experience, though, 2 seconds up and 4 seconds release. That's the goal you want to look for, because that way you're stimulating your fast twitch and your slow twitch muscles. And the letdown, doing it slowly, shows a controlled motion and really helps build resistance, which helps build muscle. And says, like, I know that guys, that's usually what we want. We want to build muscle, get bigger. So this is something you should be doing. And I agreed. And so that's when I started slowing down. And, I felt a big difference in, just a lot of my body. And I thought that was really nice. That I didn't even have to ask this fella for help, and he had some helpful tips for me. Well, being a nerd, I'm looking into fitness online, trying to learn as much as I can to make sure I don't hurt myself, overexert myself, undertrain. And I learn about stretching. I guess I remember stretching is something that we would do before doing light cardio, before playing whatever game we would play in gym class back in elementary school. So I try to remember these old stretches, and over the course of a week, I figured out my stretch routine. I do my stretches, I do a few minutes of cardio, and then I do my weight training. Well, then I find out that doing more than 5 minutes of cardio at the beginning of your session is going to tire yourself so you can lift less during your weight resistance training. So I cut the cardio at the beginning down to 3 to 5 minutes. And I noticed a great improvement in my lifting abilities. That's good. I am slowly getting stronger. I started noticing some minor size gains. And when you're going from nothing, seeing something is a great improvement. I know a lot of guys, after a year or 3 at the gym, they're not going to be able to see the minor differences. But when you start, you really notice those differences. Especially if you're skinny like me, just the addition of some size really stands out. I continue doing cardio at the end of my lifting, and I notice after a few weeks, significant heart and lung improvements. My cardiopulmonary system was doing a lot better. I wasn't getting winded after 10 minutes of cardio. I was able to go up to a half hour. And since then, the half hour at the end has got easier and easier. So this is a reminder to anyone who's thinking of starting their fitness journey or who is beginning their fitness journey that it really is a journey. This is going to take a long time, but you will notice differences overall. But remember, you're not sprinting, it's a marathon. That old chestnut. Well, I know, I was lucky. I had that one friend to show me around the gym week 1. But the reason I wanted to talk about that fellow with 4 seconds up, 2 seconds down was to really share that there's friendly, peaceful people at the gym. You might be intimidated by the youngins who are sprinting all over the place and like, "Rawr, they're really doing the lifts." But it's the old timers. It's the people over 30, the people over 40. They're the ones you really want to talk to because they know a lot more than the youngins do. Well, they're also friendly and approachable. So about week 5 or 6, I don't remember, I see this guy that I kept seeing around the gym, and he's just walking around between sets, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'd like to get your thoughts on something, because you have pretty good form. You're very well-rounded. I can tell you know what you're doing. Would you have any tips for me as a beginner?" And he just laughed and said, "No, I don't have any tips. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. But I can tell you, I started lifting 3 years ago. And it's all about keeping with it. You just keep going, and it'll work." He encouraged me to stay on the machines. Just keep doing what I was doing. Take it slow. Don't work too hard. And just keep coming back. That was really good advice, because not only was it the right advice, but given from someone who he looked like he'd been training hard for a long time. He had great muscle definition, like his shoulders were very well rounded, his pectorals were well shaped, his legs were obviously muscular. It's just wow, to know that someone who didn't know what they were doing 3 years ago and still doesn't know what they're doing can look like that means that if I learn a little bit about what I'm doing, I might even look better after 3 years. And, well, his advice was good. Just keep working the machines. But, of course, I wasn't happy with just that advice, you know. Always learning and always growing. Better every day. That's one of my mantras. And better every day is a shortcut of saying constant improvement, right? I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. I want to go to bed better me than when I woke up. And I want to wake up a better me than when I went to sleep. It doesn't always work, but it's a good goal to reach for. Better every day. So I like to learn at least one thing every single day. Preferably I learn more than one, but I strive for the minimum of one. And part of my always learning journey is learning new topics. So I do more fitness research. This is where I find a few, let's say, fit tubers, fitfluencers. It's a dangerous trap to go down the fitfluencer path, because you see a lot of people who look like you will never look. because they have the certain genetics that just let it happen. Or they're taking certain illicit substances to make sure it happens. Or they're like growth hormones, steroids, right? People do crazy things to maintain or achieve a body image. Like, heck, I have another video about the quad father. It's titled something like, "Why do bodybuilders do this?" I don't know, but I know that there's a lot of people out there who can say, as long as you do what I tell you, you're gonna look like me. But God's honest truth is, no, you're gonna look like you, okay? Don't give in to body dysmorphia. Don't compare yourself to others. You should always compare yourself to yourself. And know that you're not able to train yourself taller. No, you need the genetics to be tall. If you're a certain height, that's how you're made. Accept it. If you're a certain weight, that's how you are. Accept it. You can be better, but you're not gonna be like that person over there. Because you have different genetics, different structures of what you can achieve and what you can't. Well, I see other people in there that are gigantic. I see other people in the gym that are less than gigantic. And I start noticing what can be considered natural and not natural. And one of the fitness YouTubers, he runs a whole natty or not set of videos, basically debunking people who say that they're natural lifters when actually they're juiced up lifters. And he promoted a fitness plan of, well, it's a custom fitness. The tuber is Sean Nalawani. I'll put a link in the description, I suppose. Anyways, I sign up for his total body transformation workout plan. It's very different from what I was doing. And what I had structured out was based on what my friend showed me, plus a little bit of research I did, plus mostly my own intuition. And it was interesting. I had planned to do 8 weeks of 3 workouts per week, where I would have a leg day, I would have an arms and shoulders day, and I would have a back and core day. And that I would rotate between those 3. And after 8 weeks, I would double it so that I was doing 6 workouts a week, hitting each zone of the body twice per week. Well, turns out that is a totally valid fitness plan. The one that Sean Nalwani recommended for me was full body exercises. A total of 8 different exercises with warm-ups. And they were designed to work, compound muscle groups. So I'm not just focusing on the biceps or the triceps. I'm doing chest and arms and back all at once. Or I'm not just working legs, but I'm doing legs, back, and core, and the glutes. So think of the barbell, right? There's dumbbell, fits in your hand. Barbell is the long one you use 2 hands for. Okay, you put that over your shoulders, behind your neck, and you squat and then stand up again. So that's a compound lift exercise. The chin up, compound lift exercise. Okay, so I get put on this new plan and I start figuring out new machines. Oh yeah, I'm getting off of the simple machines that target focus on targeted areas, and I get into the compound lifts using free weights. And is a very different animal, that's for sure. and sometimes can be very confusing, especially when it comes to terms that you don't know, like a Romanian deadlift. Well, what's the difference between a Romanian deadlift and any other deadlift? Well, there's differences, okay? And you can watch YouTube videos, you can look up diagrams, just Google search, you'll find information. But I found the best way to get the real answers is you look someone in the eye and you ask, "Excuse me, I see you're doing this thing. Can you tell me a few tips for doing that thing?" And you hear a few tips and you're like, "Okay. And is that similar to the thing that I'm told to do? My exercise is called blah, 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 blah." And they say, "Oh, so if you want to do the blah, 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 you got to do it a little different, like this." And they show, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. So for the Romanian deadlift, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips," Happy Gilmore style. And he's like, "Yeah, that's right." And I noticed a huge difference. Well, there's another exercise I was doing wrong involving the rope. It's supposed to be for the lats. And this was maybe 2 weeks ago. Another guy walks up to me and says, "Hey, I see what you're doing, and I just want to give you some useful advice. Point your elbows into the air as high as possible and keep them up there while you're doing this lift. Really makes a difference." And so I asked him a few other opinions, like, "Well, geez, man, you look like you've been doing this a long time. You've got good muscle definition. What do you say about the full range of motion?" And he's like, "Always full range of motion." "Okay, what about squats? How deep do you think I should squat?" And he's like, "Full range of motion except for the legs." And goes on about how the deep squat can be very detrimental to your knees. Turns out that is highly debated, and I'm not convinced that it is damaging to the knees, but I'm also not certain that it isn't. I think form has a lot to do with that. My point is that they're friendly people, and you just got to look out for the regulars, not the person who buys their membership in the new year or for their birthday and then goes to the gym once or for 1 week and then never again. Heck, I heard about this one lady at my gym. She paid for membership 6 years ago. The only day she set foot in the gym was to cancel her membership. And the guy working there is like, "Well, thanks for the donation, I guess." So it's these people that keep coming back, that seem to know what they're doing because they have good results. They're the ones you listen to. And make sure they're over 30 years old, because those young guys, a lot of the times, they don't know what they're doing. I see this fella who's just like lifting as quick as he can, setting it down as quick as he can. And I think back to my early weeks in the gym where Don comes up to me and says, 2 seconds up, 4 seconds down. So I walk up to this youngin' who's just moving the bars as quick as he can, and I say, "Sorry, I'm hoping I can learn something from you. I'm still learning here. I see the sign over there that says 3 seconds lift and 3 seconds let down, and someone else told me 2 seconds up, 4 seconds down. I've noticed you're doing your up and down all in less than 1 second. Can you help me understand why?" And I've approached 3 different people with that, and each of them has said, "I don't know." So I let them know, okay, well, this is the advice that's on the sign. This is what someone told me, and I hope that helps. The next time I saw that person in the gym, they were lifting slow. Similarly, there's this short girl, and she was on a Stairmaster machine, and she was taking 2 stairs at a time. Well, I walked up to her and I said, I just want you to know that you're the smallest person I've ever seen to take 2 steps at a time, and I want you to know that that's impressive, and you should be proud of yourself. There was another lady, while she was doing her warm-ups, I saw her high kicks. They were impressive. So later on in my workout, I walked up to her and let her know that. I saw your high kicks. They were very impressive, and I think you should be proud of that. She smiled. She was glad. Another lady, she was wearing, let's say, an outfit that was meant to show off her assets, if you understand me. And what I said to her was, I really like your hair. Those curls are beautiful. No, I wasn't trying to pick anyone up here. I was just complimenting people that deserved compliments. And no one has done that to me because, of course, nobody compliments men. It's sad. It really is. Like, you compliment a man, he's going to remember it for the rest of his life. You compliment a woman, and she's going to think about it while you're having the conversation, maybe, right? Because they get compliments so often that they start to become meaningless, less special, is what I understand. Well, if you've made it to this point in the video and you are, in fact, a woman, know that any compliment you give a man is going to mean a lot. Go ahead. Approach that guy at the gym and let him know. Approach that guy in the mall or the store. Let him know what you think. You want that cute guy at the bar to come over and talk to you? Go over and talk to him. Yeah. It works both ways. And I think that's something that's very, very good about going to the gym. I got to learn not only how to lift, not only that I will notice differences, not only that if I stick with it, even if I don't know what I'm doing, I will see results, but mostly that the friendly people are friendly, and they're everywhere, and they're nice, and they're helpful. And if you just open yourself up a little bit, you can learn, you can teach, you can make a casual friend, and then later on, when you're in a totally different environment outside of the gym, and you walk by someone that you know from the gym, you can say, hey, how you doing? And it's been a while since I seen you. Yeah, I've been on a different schedule. And you can have a nice little encounter. You can get great advice from smart people. You can share great advice to other people. Some people will listen, some people won't. And even the youngins who are moving as quick as they can, who don't really know what they're doing, they'll be receptive to talk to you. They might not listen, but they'll talk. So if you want to find out their thoughts on it, you probably can. Especially if you ask a constructive question, like, I notice your leg position when you're doing that chest press exercise. I wonder if you can help me understand why you do it. Oh, okay, so it's a matter of isolation. On that note, did you notice that you were getting any sort of bounce or extra support from certain movements? And they can be very forthcoming. Of course, you could also be like that goofball I saw at a grocery store. He was wearing his hat not on his head, but atop his head. And I go up, I ask him, like, why are you wearing your hat like that? You know, it's different from my generation. I just hope I can understand. And he says, well, why do you want to know? I Well, because I don't get it, and I'm hoping you can help me learn something here. It's a fashion choice, and I'd like to understand why. And he goes and finds someone working at the grocery and says, "This guy's harassing me." And I'm like, "If you just answer the question, it's not that bad, because you look stupid. That's it. You look stupid, dumbass." Anyway, that's it.
Science, spirit, life. Nerd Pumpkin.